Alright guys, it's me and Danielle out here today, just us, and we're gonna run. We got 4 nets we put in a week ago. We're on the Washita River. We're gonna pick up these 4 nets, see what we got. We got 2 that are suspended, we got 2 that's on bottom. We're fixing to put the 5th one out. We didn't have time last week when we put them out, it got dark on us. But it's a Saturday morning, it's February the 25th today. We're having river's at a stage where it's hard. You can't get to any of the boat ramps in this area, so you got to put in the best way you can and cut through the woods and stuff to even get to the river right now up here. But we made it out to the river. We're going to drag out one of our sets real quick, put this net in. I'm going to take the opportunity to show you, before I put this net in, how this net is set up. I'll give you a real good look at our anchor, our rope, headline, all of that, like it is before we put these nets in. A lot of people ask a lot of questions about our anchors and stuff. You know, there's different anchors out there, but I'm showing you mine, and this is what I make. This is how I make them, and I ain't lost a net because of an anchor yet. I've had 1 or 2 stolen over the years, but I've never lost a net because of these anchors. All right, this is our net anchors right here. I build most all of mine the same way. This is 2-inch flat bar, 2-inch by 1/4 inch thick. You see how I cut these angles on it? It's not sharpened or anything, it's just cut on an angle. You got about 12, 14 inches each one of these. So I'm cutting these about I think 2.5 foot's what I cut them. And I welded these 2 together right here on all 4 sides. Just made a cross, welded them, and then took 1-inch pipe right here, put in the center of this and welded that up. And while this was hot, I go ahead and bend these to about a 45-degree angle off of this pipe right here. This 1-inch pipe is it's about 2.5 foot long. And this chunk of angle right here is just some scrap angle I had around the house, and I weld that on there for extra weight. So when we fish in 30 foot of water and you drop this thing down, it kind of helps hold this on the bottom like this. So when you go to pulling on it from up high, you're not pulling it up like this, because them barbs won't hang in the dirt like that. So if it's down like that, they'll kind of grab and snatch down in the dirt. Up here, I just took some rebar. You could take whatever, round rod or whatever you got, and just welded it. So I've got me a loop up here to tie my rope into. I use bowlines. Everywhere I tie a knot, I use a bowline. And here, because the river's way up, instead of 40, 50 foot, we tied an extra line on, so we got about an extra 15 or 20. We'll just account for that, throw our anchor up. And this is the way we put them in the river, just like this. My tail end of my net is up. I've got my rope. I'll throw my anchor over. I got it where it'll all feed out. And then after that, I like these poly ropes on the headline, because this poly is buoyant in the water. I've said that several times in the videos. And it kind of floats up, so the drag will catch it a lot easier than it will nylon or like this rope here. That stuff stays on the bottom. So I got about a 50-foot line here on our headline, and that's our weight. That's just an old window weight. You could, if you had some window weights, you could cut a piece of them off, a chunk of it, or any kind of weight like that would work just fine. It don't have to be heavy. This is just basically to hold your headline straight in this current, so when your drag hits it, you got something down below so your drag will stay on this rope. That's all that's for. Now, one thing I'm going to do later in some of our videos this year, I'm going to try to, I need to build some more net anchors anyways. Some of these are getting old. I've fished some of these for 20 years. So I need to build some more. I'm going to do that on film. And I'm also going to do some hacks, or whatever you want to call them, on making some headline weights. Just our trot line weights, whatever you want to use them for. Be good for a lot of different things. So I'm gonna work on that, get some of those videos out there. But we fixing to put this net in, show y'all how we gonna fill this hole. We're gonna put it in, out, put it in, setting it out. It's gonna be about 25 foot right here where we put this net right now, and 22 to 25, something like that.
You get tired of me driving?
No, I'm just.
You like my driving, huh?
Yeah. I like learning stuff.
Yeah.
All right, I'm gonna show y'all something right here. You can see up ahead of us in the river how the river bends back over on this side. There's a bend over here, and this current hits this bank right here and comes down this bank. So there's always good current right here on this bank. This is a steep bank. Just showing y'all the kind of spots I look for. There's always some good current right there. And fish, when they swim upstream, they're kind of gonna take the shortest route, in my opinion. So a lot of those fish are gonna come right up through here. That's why I fish this spot. All right, I'm gonna drag this set out. Got my drag. A lot of good bit of current coming down through here right now. So I want to make sure there's no trash, because if there's any treetops or anything done drifted in here, I check these every year. You'd hang this net up in a heartbeat. I don't want to feel any treetops. You want to keep your boat. You don't want to get in a bind any kind of way with your boat maneuvering and all this. You want to kind of be careful. You know, it helps to have two people doing this sometimes, but you want to make for sure that you don't get your boat sideways in all this current, get hung up on a tree, or hang your drag up. If you hit a treetop or something down there, you gotta be careful, keep that boat upstream. You don't want that rope bound up, tied up to your boat. Boat goes sideways or something, it could get you in a real good bind. Tell you another good tip: always keep a pocket knife on you if you have to cut loose. You know, don't get in a bind. Now, I don't feel anything in a 300-foot span in there, so we got plenty of room to stick our net right in there. All right, I'm gonna show y'all real quick. Literally right there where that tree root is, this is just a bluff. I mean, it drops off like 20 foot right here on this bluff bank. So right there, it's like 2 foot deep. And right here, you know, we're not 15, 20 feet from that bluff bank to the end of this little tree right here, and that's how I'm gonna gauge where my net's gonna sit, is right out about the outer limb of this tree right here. So I got Danielle running the boat. We're just gonna go just straight up above and throw this anchor in where that net will come right back under the edge of those limbs right there on that tree. Y'all can see what I did right there. This net's just gonna go right in behind this tree right here. And what we'll do, we'll know the drag, you know, 20, 30 feet behind the snag. We'll pull this, we'll crank up. I got it off so y'all can hear me, the motor. But we'll crank up and we'll pull out in the river, drop this net in. It'll go down and then roll right up against that bluff bank down there, right where it needs to be. Alright, so now she's pulling out in the rear of the boat to get us out beyond these limbs. This is surface current up here, it's cut through the woods. We're going to get this net down below that surface current, and it'll be right against that bluff bank down there where we want it. Put a little bit harder. gonna go down below all this surface current, and it'll roll right back against that bluff bank. That current's gonna push it right back around there where it needs to be, and just keep it straight. Once we get this rope, I don't want this rope out too deep because it'll be harder to drag. We'll get this rope in just a little bit, drop it in, and we'll just drag right above that snag there to catch this rope when we come back to pick it up. But we should catch some fish right here, hopefully. A lot of current. A lot. We're gonna be good though. That's a wrap. Right here. Bam.